starting tomorrow, that is the time to eject anything that's not currently serving you. Whether those are relationships, whether those are activities that you just kind of, I just always did it like this. And examine the stuff in your life and poke it and see, does this part still work? Does this work? Should I be getting rid of this? There are a lot of things that I used to do that I don't do anymore. And I had to, all over the last week, been going through really examining it truthfully to say, I have a garage full of all the stuff from different activities I was in that I haven't looked at in years.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to the full moon in May. Even though it's April 30th, we are working on the intention of tomorrow's full moon, May 1st, 2026. Hello, ladies. I'm so happy to see you all here.
Oh, and you too, sweetie. It's good to know you're home and safe.
Yeah. Oh, so Mickey's referring to the fact that Carol and I have been visiting Greece.
Yeah.
We're home in the United States again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun trip. Very nice trip. We have pictures over the Acropolis.
Oh, the Acropolis.
Anyway, we have pictures of that is illuminated with the new moon above it.
Oh,
just the sliver of it. So yeah, that was awesome. We have probably 1,500 photographs.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, we have a lot. We do, and we are planning on doing a slideshow, and Carla Ionesco, she is going to come on and she's going to narrate it and talk about the different places.
Oh, that's nice.
Right. So she maps the Artemis temples, and so right now she's in Sicily, doing more mapping.
Right.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to getting that done in the future. That'll be an event we have on here for people.
Yeah. That'll be nice.
Yeah. And it was a wonderful trip. I have to say, anybody that's interested in visiting it, we'll make sure we know, when Carla may be doing another one, and we'll help her promote it, because it was a trip of a lifetime. It was beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've picked some great places to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she also infused it with activities, like we did archery. We were
right.
And clay molding, and
yeah,
it was great.
They really excel with the clays and stuff. It's amazing. People.
Yeah, we all and we didn't even make something simple like a bowl. We made a deer with horns.
Oh gosh!
Like
really?
Fancy. Do you have yours right there, Carol?
Mine's still in a bag drying because I broke the horn. I had to repair them. I broke them in the luggage coming home somehow.
Oh. Every single person made a deer that looked like a deer.
Oh,
and they all look different, but they all look like a deer.
Look like deer. Okay.
Absolutely. Right. Some of them were very muscular deers, and some of them were very soft. But yeah, they're all good. But leaning, did you say?
I said some were lean, some were not.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. And then doing the archery, Carol was like a natural. She was able to aim and hit the bullseye, the balloons. I hit a balloon, but it wasn't the one I was aiming at. But we'll keep that a secret.
Well, at least you hit something.
That's right. And then I did the happy dance. Oh, I'm just glad that my arrow made it that far. All right. Well, enough of that. How about let's talk about what is this full moon bringing us? I know. I know I had to ask,
Do you
so
actually want the answer?
I will say that the jump we're going to take is rooted in becoming.
Right.
So, yes.
That's what this is all about.
Okay.
I will preface that with saying tomorrow, being May 1st, it is this particular full moon is the biggest astrological event of the rest of the year. Okay, I mean, for the previous part and going forward, this is the big one. And so, therefore, it has a much bigger kind of purpose. Like it is the normal, it's a full moon, okay, fine, we understand that. But it is an event that, as we mentioned last time about portals, and going through a window or a portal. This is one that is going to usher in at least 7 years of stuff that's coming. We are going now definitely into the things that I've been talking about before, where we're preparing for this onslaught of events where we're going to have to hold hands and just keep walking and don't look to either side. Well, this starting tomorrow, that is the time to eject anything that's not currently serving you. Whether those are relationships, whether those are activities that you just kind of, I just always did it like this. And examine the stuff in your life and poke it and see, does this part still work? Does this work? Should I be getting rid of this? There are a lot of things that I used to do that I don't do anymore. And I had to, all over the last week, been going through really examining it truthfully to say, I have a garage full of all the stuff from different activities I was in that I haven't looked at in years, So it's a time of great introspection. This is where you really have to be honest about what you're seeing. One of my wake-up calls was, as you know, I'm coming out of being sick. But even at this point where I'm almost completely out of it, I couldn't get over the effects that it had. I thought I knew what it was doing to me. I thought I understood what, the truth was of that particular thing. But as of yesterday, I have been forced to reconsider the effects because they've left me a very changed person. They've left me with a whole new set of circumstances, which is not the me that I'm used to, my strengths and weaknesses and so forth. It's not even a familiar menu, so I have to reacquaint myself with the new me that is now after having gone through all that life-changing disease. I had to admit, I just couldn't do what I used to do. Even the little that it was, at present, I am having meals delivered because I couldn't stand there and cook. Just too weak. Now, when I come out of the kitchen, I go in and just make a cup of coffee and come back out. But as I look at that, I had to be very honest in my evaluation as to what I needed someone to do for me because I could not do it. And the upshot, until I could really recognize that, was that I wasn't eating or drinking, and I lost almost 30 pounds. Just simply negligence. I was too sick to get up and cook, and the only thing I could drink was water. And so, boy, did my body say, oh, finally, we can do this. So I've lost a lot of weight. Now, that was the good part of a bad situation, So you have to look at the stuff that's coming down the pike and really honestly evaluate it. And that especially goes for people in your life that don't serve you, for whatever social reason, there may be because it's a family member, and so you're being respectful and blah blah blah. But it could be that that family member is very disruptive, and you've been allowing them to get away with it. No, you don't have to be rude, but you have to be truthful, and you have to reset every boundary you've got in your life. Look at it and change it, edit it the way it needs to be edited.
So I'm hearing a lot of self-love.
Yes.
And
that's more true now than it has been for decades. When I was looking at the aspects in this chart, one of the first things I noticed, and I was so grateful, was that your planet of good fortune, Jupiter, and of philosophy and law, but it's all about how you see things, the philosophy of it. It rules religion and your set of how you see things. But it's the greatest planet of good fortune that we have. And it happens to be in a very demonstrative aspect. So it's actually in an aspect called a sextile that makes things very much easier. The triangle, is 120 degrees, but this is half of that. So it's not as strong as a pyramid, the trine, but it's half of it. So it's the beginnings of a very much better time that's coming. Okay? So Jupiter always helps out, does all kinds of good things. Even when it has a bad angle, Jupiter at its worst simply makes things a little more complicated, maybe, but it doesn't make it bad. Now, it's coupled in this case with the moon for this sextile. With the sun for this sextile. But the very next aspect next to that is it's an actual full-blown trine. And that's with the moon. So since Jupiter is good stuff and the moon is emotions, guess what? We will not be in as bad a mood about all the other crap that's happening as we could be. So don't fall for being all concentrated on the conflicts, because there are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 conflicts out of maybe 50 different aspects going on. So don't get all caught up in looking at that. You can make note of the fact that this part of my life and that part are not doing so well. But don't stay on it and examine it, pick it apart and blah. No. If you notice that something is offering you a negative experience, maybe high drama or whatever, but it's all about conflict, move on immediately. Don't dwell on it.
Right. So I've been feeling, whereas in the past, there would be conflict, emotion. There's been a great neutrality that I've been feeling lately. So I'm hearing, examine, do the self-love, let drop away what's not serving you, and have that neutral or good emotion with it. So, that's very positive.
Yeah, even when we're talking about a bad aspect or a challenging aspect, no matter what, there's 2 sides to every one of the aspects. If you're going through opposition and 2 planets are directly across from each other, which is what we have now, that's called the full moon, when they're right across from each other, and that's a separation aspect. The thing is, it clarifies some other things that needed to be brought to light. There were 2 things that are of very different minds, and they're interacting with each other, and you have to choose. With an opposition, you have 2 planets pulling against each other, and you can't have what either one of them has for you until you turn the other one loose. You see, so it's all about, you've got to pick the thing that serves you. Okay? And so there's a lot of that going on, but I have to be very, very grateful that I can immediately see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those sextile aspects. So you have a lot of things where different planets are working with each other, like Mercury, the planet of communications in the mind. It's in Aries. Well, almost everybody is in Aries right now. But Mercury being in Aries means that since Aries is aggressive and action oriented, it means that the mind can envision much action, that it's capable of. You think it out and then you can commit the action that's required. And since that's a good aspect, it's the sextile again, then that's not a bad thing to do. It's a great exercise for your mind, and your ability to communicate will now press forward, and you actually say some of that stuff you should have said long ago. Okay? And the planet of actual that rules this Aries aggression is right in there next to Mercury. They're all in there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planets all in well, 4 of them are in Aries, and excuse me, 3 of them are in the next sign because they're already moving forward faster than anybody else. So this is a very momentous point in time, but it's a thing that you've got to make up your mind. No matter what age you are, this is a point where you make decisions to follow what you really care about. And that's the Venus aspect of things, Venus it rules the second house of money because it rules whatever we really care about. And everybody cares about money. So it facilitates you to be able to acquire. Now that could be money, but it could also be if somebody gave you a dime and you wouldn't be pissed off that it wasn't cash money in your hand. You just say, oh, good, now I can go get the cash, if you want to part with it. So this is a time of reevaluation based on what you care about. So you can go do something about it, or you can protect it if it's something you care about, or you're also evaluating what do you need to act on. That's why all this Aries planetary stuff is so important. These are planets that are getting a real hard push to do what they do best. That's Mercury of the mind, Mars of action, Saturn of discipline, and bringing up the rear is Neptune, and that's all about your imagination and what your fantasies are and so forth. So there are a lot of things being covered here. And good old Uranus is part of everybody who's up there in that stellium, although it's not still in Aries. It's, excuse me, it's a whole 2 signs away. That's why we have so many sextiles. They're 2 signs from each other. But there are, so even though it's not one of the ones in Aries, which is that massive boot in the middle of your back saying, move, but move, this is Uranus that makes for strange movements. And because it's in Gemini, it's unusual thoughts, unusual ways of communicating, you see. And Venus is right next to it. So they're both all about the Gemini vibe. And it's these planets, these 7 planets, are offering you very, very new ways to address your life and your boundaries. Because the fact that they're in there together, so close to each other, means that everything they're about, each of them, is highly infused with more energy. It's accentuated. Well, the only 2 planets left out of that 3, but there's Jupiter, the moon, which causes the opposition there for full moon, but Jupiter, the moon, and Pluto. Pluto rules, which is pulling up the back end of it, Pluto rules extreme transformations. It changes wherever it is, and it's in Aquarius. So it's going to change how you treat your friendships because of the house it rules, and it's going to change how you think about all your fresh mental capacities, which are turned up right now. And Pluto's going nowhere for a number of years.
That's what I was just thinking. Pluto's going to stay in Aquarius for quite some time.
Yeah, I think it's until 49 or something. I forget. Okay. I'd have to look it up. But it's going a long way. We are about to begin a period of change all over the earth that's going to lead to a transformation like the likes of which we have never seen. Okay, everything about the earth experience is about to change. And you can't stop it. It's rolling on. This is about, by the time these planets have had a chance to make their movements known and their aggressive tendency to scream for action, everything on the planet will be different. I just saw where someone had invented a new way of accessing hydrogen. Well, my God, that causes you to really think, because we're going through a problem with accessing water and clean water, at least, on the planet. But if we learn how to do a lot of these transportation, fuel things, if they can use the energy in hydrogen, we will have gotten away from gas and petrol and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I want to run through and just let you know events that are coming up. In a week and a half, Sunday, May 10th, Carol will be on 7 o'clock. Let's talk about it. And then Tuesday, May 12th at 7 o'clock is the Healing Circle with Becky. Wednesday, May 13th at 6:30 is book study again. Friday, May 15th at 1:30 will be the New Moon podcast. Thursday, May 21st at 7 o'clock is Forgiveness Across the Veil with Brandy Todd. That is brand new. So I'm pretty excited to see what she's got cooked. And then Sunday, May 24th at 7 p.m., let's talk about it again with Carol. May 27th, that's a Wednesday book study. And then May 30th is back to full moon. So that's the whole month of May.